All right, we're going live. All right, it's my first live, and I doubt anyone will be watching because I just created the channel and I don't have any followers. So we'll see. And I'm currently banned on Facebook, and because I'm banned on Facebook, I can't exactly build an audience, can I? Anyway, I'm Greg Benito. I'm the Great Canadian Asshole. Welcome to my channel. We talk about politics and a lot of things that go on. I might have some guests here and there. But anyway, why I'm going live and what I want to talk about right now on this stream. And it looks like everything's working. I'm my own tech guy right now. So, and my cat's about to join us. It's things that are going on today in the world, especially the American U.S. presidential election. And what I want to talk about is say hi to my cat Zuka. So go on, get down. She's always there. But anyway, I want to adjust this camera just a bit and see if we can. That didn't help. Oh, that's what I needed to do. Sorry, guys. I know I'm very professional. I'm literally sitting here going, all right. So anyway, some recent events today that made me want to go live right away. I was working on my other channel doing fish, and one of the things that came up was a story down in the U.S. Should Donald Trump should he declare martial law? This is very frustrating to me. I'm a Canadian up here, and I'm following this, and I follow this stuff closely. The media lies. The media, it's so hard when your main source of news says that they're the most trusted name in news. And, and they put that out there and people believe them and they trust them. And that's very frustrating because the media right now is not actually reporting the facts on what's going on. For example, there is widespread voter fraud, evidence of it. Okay, I want to be careful how I say these things. There is overwhelming amounts of evidence that the media is just not showing you. It's funny how the media went from there is no fraud to now it's unsubstantiated fraud. I can't even talk. I apologize. But unsubstantiated fraud is what they say. There's tons of it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is what's going on. And so now we're here. Should Donald Trump declare martial law? My opinion, yes. And I'm going to explain why. And I watch all of these podcasts and I watch all these news reports and I watch the media and the news. And it's so frustrating because clearly this election was a sham. Now, people have asked me, friends, because they know I follow this stuff, and they say, well, who do you think is behind it? Well, I've always said, number one, I believe the Chinese are behind all of this, but I'm going to get into that in another podcast. I don't want to get into that right now. I just want to talk about martial law and declaring a new election, and I believe at this point, this is the way to go. Now, I heard Tim Pool on his podcast say, it's an astronomical shot to go there and do this, and the funny thing is I'm watching Tim and I'm like, yeah, but Tim, he's saying that's going to bring us to this dark place. And I'm like, we're already there, dude. We're already in this dark place. Okay. And we are seeing it everywhere. I mean, if you look at Michigan, where they kicked people out, and Pennsylvania, they wouldn't let people observe what they were doing in the back rooms. Today in Georgia, they wiped Dominion voting machine. You've got Dominion not showing up to hearings, the representatives. They're closing down their offices everywhere. You've got this lawyer, Sidney Powell, out there saying that they've got evidence that these machines were designed to rig elections. And I'll get into all that as my podcast continues to grow. I will get into all of that stuff, okay? But for now, what I'm talking about, and I'm just talking about, is martial law. It's a tough spot, but what do the American people want? And what does the world want? Now, it drives me nuts when people go, you're a Canadian. What does it matter to you? What do you care? Listen, shut up. Seriously. The United States is the most powerful country on the planet. I am a Canadian. I can admit it. They are. All right. They are the most powerful country. Everything that happens in that country affects all of us. And I know people don't want to admit it, and people don't want to say that because they don't want the Americans' ego to get any bigger than it already is. But they are. They are the biggest country. And what matters, especially here in Canada, we are tied to them, and people don't seem to get this. Everything that happens there affects us. And I can tell you right now, if whatever is coming happens, whether it is communism or socialism or the Great Reset, if America falls, we all fall. That's it. It's that serious. The United States is the last stand against this. This has been happening for years. I don't know if it goes back to FDR. I know Ronald Reagan. If you look it up, there is a famous speech. You could probably Google it or look it up here on YouTube, where Reagan warns about socialism, warns about the far left and what they're attempting to do. And the problem is, it's a lot of low info voters who are literally uninformed. And the media is the biggest evil out there right now because they're not doing their job. They're not informing the public. They're not talking about all of this. They are intentionally burying the fraud. They are intentionally not showing you the fraud, so that if Donald Trump does win this in a legal court, however he does this, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is the problem, the sad part. He's right. He is absolutely right. He is following all the steps. He is not trying to steal an election. Okay. He is trying to win it fairly using the system. He's not holding a coup like these idiots on the left keep saying that's what he's doing. He's not doing any of that stuff. He's literally using the legal and the Constitution, the United States Constitution, the things that are in play, the checks and balances for him to go about and do this. And frankly, my opinion, from what I've seen, because I watched the election that night, I watched the podcast, I observed it all happening. I was blown away that I think it was around 2 o'clock in the morning. Donald Trump was up by about 60%. Suddenly they stopped counting. 4 a.m., all of a sudden, there's 173,000 votes, all for Joe Biden. Right off the bat, ding, ding, ding. I'm one of those people that doesn't need evidence. I just sit there and go, okay, that's enough for me to go, something happened. There was some kind of major dump. And I know that there are people out there that don't want to, put their neck out on the line and say what it is. But frankly, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, flies like a duck, it's a duck. It's that simple. It's a duck. So where are we now? After all that's gone on, and every single day we are just seeing more and more evidence, it kills me. Because all anybody should want is a fair election. That's all anyone should want, okay? A fair election. This wasn't a fair election, and that and the media is not telling you that, but this was not a fair election. And here we are. And what is going on? The Democrats are fighting tooth and nail to prevent an investigation. They are literally blocking. You would think if Joe Biden won this thing legally, if he legitimately got 80 million votes, which is a slap in the face, by the way, to think that more black people voted for Biden than they ever voted for Obama. Come on. That's a joke, guys. I'm a comedian, and I find that funny. All right. What's going on? All right. What's going on? I mean, I could sit here for 2 hours and literally go through all of this. Steven Crowder just uncovered on his podcast today that he voted twice. He didn't vote twice, but he discovered by doing some investigating that apparently or allegedly he voted twice somehow. So somebody voted for him, if you follow what I'm saying. All right. A judge in Georgia said, isolate those voting machines, those Dominion voting machines, put them aside, and let's have a look at them. Let's have an audit. And oopsie, guess what happened today? A IT person, a tech person, accidentally deleted all the info on that machine. But the good news is he backed up all the data to the server that he ended up accidentally deleting. All right. Okay. What's going on? Well, if I had to guess, and again, this is my opinion, this is not based on evidence or facts so far. This is based on what I believe is going to come. I make a lot of predictions. And if you're going to follow my channel, you're going to learn that I make a lot of predictions. And one of my predictions is that as time goes on, and why they're trying to buy time is because more and more is coming forward. They have sworn affidavits. They've got crazy evidence. They've got video evidence of people walking past in Detroit, 2 female security guards. They were beautiful black women security guards. People walking past, these 2 women were just talking to each other, not even paying attention, literally shooting the shit as people walk past with coolers and tote bags and a wagon. And what was interesting was allegedly it was one of Trump's lawyers that was there to witness the recount. And what had happened was they kicked her out. They wouldn't let anyone in. So she happened to be walking out to her car, and she noticed this guy unloading these boxes out of the back of a van. So she pulled out her phone and started to record. And this guy loaded things onto a wagon. I saw the video. Okay. Crowder had it on his show, and she followed him in. And when she followed him in, this is when they had stopped counting. They went into the back room and they were keeping everybody out. No one was allowed back there, but yet all these people were walking in and out of that back room with all these coolers and tote bags and wagons. And, you know, and of course CNN came out and go, well, we have an explanation for that. They were carrying camera equipment. All right. Why are you bringing camera equipment into the back room? I mean, it just gets stupid. It just gets so stupid. And it's just like they're flinging shit out there, hoping it'll stick and wondering who's going to buy it or not. Right. Look, whatever happened, I don't know who rigged this election. It was rigged. Okay. It is so clear that it was rigged. Personally, what I think, I think it wasn't just one group or one, one special interest group or Joe Biden himself. What I think, the media has spent 4 years building this hatred towards Trump. 4 years. And I know this because I was one of those people who hated the man. I literally hated this guy. And one day I just went, wait a minute. Why do I hate him? Because hate is a powerful emotion. And I had to ask myself, why do I hate this guy? Like, what is it about him that makes me hate him so much? And I said, what did he do? I have to research this. I got to find out, what did Donald Trump do that affected my life personally so much that I hate the guy? And I started to do my digging. And what I found out, I'm a Trump supporter now. Yes. And for that, I've been called a racist and a homophobe. Yeah. Even though I've always supported gay rights, always. I've never viewed black people as anything other than other people with dark skin. But yet I'm a racist. I don't talk about any of this stuff in my comedy, even, when I'm on stage. I'm literally that guy that's just there to make everybody laugh. I don't want to be controversial. That's what this podcast is for. This is where, my personal views and opinions are going to come out now, is in this, because I'm fed up and it's affecting us in Canada. This is just a joke. This is an absolute joke, what's gone on out there. And now it's being suggested that Donald Trump declare martial law. I agree. I absolutely agree. When you've got them defying judge orders, like in PA, where the judge said you have to let Republicans in to view the count, and they still said no. When you've got them saying, segregate these votes and put them aside, and they're messing with those votes. When you've got the media constantly lying and telling people there is no fraud, when the fraud is the level of fraud is so overwhelming, it's ridiculous. CNN, I despise CNN now. CNN. So Trump's lawyers had a press conference to lay out some of this evidence, right? And they can't lay it all out because they've got to save it for court. That's the other thing people don't understand. And that's one of the things that I want to do in my podcast, is talk about these things that nobody else is really talking about, or try and give some insight, because this is what I do. I sit here and I research this all day long. They laid it out. And what did CNN do? They said, it was so bananas, we can't even show you. We can't even show you this press conference. Who are they to make that call? Okay, this involves the president of the United States. The American people and the people of the world are entitled to see what the president of the United States legal team is putting out there. And it's up to us to decide if we buy it or not. It's not up to the media, especially CNN, to tell us that it's so bananas they're not even going to show us it. Because frankly, I watched it and I wasn't laughing. It wasn't funny to me. So what do we have now? I'll call it. I don't give a shit. I will say it. What do we have going on right now? We've got a president that I don't think he was given a fair election. And I think he's doing everything in his power to do it legally and to do it right. And if you're a Joe Biden supporter, and that's fine, that's great. If you're a Joe Biden supporter, then consider this. By the way, if you're watching, I see I've got a couple of viewers. Do me a favor. This is my very first podcast. Click subscribe. Please follow me and click the notification as I get better at this. If you like what I'm saying, I would really appreciate it. Feel free to make some comments. All of you, two of you that are watching right now, we will grow this audience. And subscribe now and be the first. Be the first to follow the Great Canadian Asshole and join my podcast. But anyway. With everything that's going on and the Democrats, I mean, the Democrats are going out of their way to interfere, to stop an investigation. Why? Hi, DARPA. Hi, how are you? Thanks for joining. I got three. This is my very first podcast, so I appreciate it. Why? If this is a legit and fair election, and if Joe Biden legitimately won this election, then why? Why are they trying to stop this? Why are they fucking around with this at all? I let it go. I mean, I can tell you right now, if I was accused, hey, you're my first subscriber. Thank you. Awesome. I hope I don't get banned too. That I'm going to talk about that in another podcast as well. So anyway, if this is legit, now if you get accused, I know I've been accused of things that I knew I was in the right, and I knew that it was true, and I was right. I wanted it to go to court. I wanted to go. Yeah, I think Trump won. Absolutely. I wanted it to go to court, because I was anxious to prove that I was right. Anyone who's falsely accused of anything would not, to me anyway, some lawyers do give advice on some of this stuff just because, for whatever reason. But I would literally be like, I want to get this done and over with, and I want to be proven that I won this election fair and square, or that I was innocent of any accusations. I want my day in court. That's not what's happening down in the States. What's happening down in the States is the left, the Democrats, whoever, are going out of their way to stop any kind of audits, any kind of investigation. You've got politicians playing games down there, trying to stymie the Trump legal team and everyone else from investigating this and finding out what's really going on. And then you've got Trump. And Trump is literally, he's not doing anything. And this is the saddest part. Because of the media, and the media is to blame for this, because the media is not reporting on what's actually going on, because the media is not telling the public what's going on, because of these big tech companies like YouTube, Facebook, which, by the way, I'm banned 30 days, and I'll get to that in a minute, on Facebook, because all of this is going on right now, and the media is not doing their job. They're activists now. They're not journalists anymore. The public is in the dark. So if anything Trump does at this point, they're going to turn around, even though it's completely legal, they're going to turn around and say that he stole the election. He's corrupt. Like, there's no way out of this. There is no way out of this. It's going to erupt in violence. We've already got it. I watched Tim Pool say that, today talk about, sorry, I keep reading comments and then I get distracted. So I got to learn to not watch that, but I appreciate the comments. Keep them rolling. Tim Pool had said, we're going to a dark place. Tim, we're already there. It doesn't get much darker than this. We're fighting off a virus. People are waking up to this virus bullshit. They're out there and, sorry, I don't know. You said pardon. I don't know what you're saying pardon to, what you misunderstood. If you type it in, I will try and address it. But anyway, the media is going to ignite this bomb. They're packing in this powder right now, this keg, and they're going to ignite it, and it's going to become violent. It's going to be a civil war. And I kind of think that whoever's behind all of this, whoever's putting the money into all this, and I kind of have an idea who it is, this is what they want. But I'm going to save that for another podcast. But should Trump declare martial law? At this point, absolutely. And here's why. It's pretty simple. Declare martial law, limited martial law. I absolutely agree. I don't think it's insane. I don't think it's crazy to do that. I think rehold a fair election. bring the military in, have military personnel at these voting stations, redo this, do it properly, make sure that there are witnesses, there's no monkey business going on, nobody's fucking around, make sure that it's all done right, straight up, and everything else, and make sure that we get a proper American president voted by the American people. That's it. And if Biden wins after that, I will be happy. I will literally be happy, because then at least we know the American people made a choice. Anyway, guys, thanks for following my very first podcast. I am the Great Canadian Asshole. Right now, I've only got one gig coming up because of COVID-19. If you're in Ontario, if you're in the Hamilton area, Gabby's, I think it's a sports bar in Hamilton. I will be there on December 13th, as long as that doesn't get canceled. And maybe I'll post some of my stand up here on this page at some point. But anyway, this is me, just my very first podcast. I hope you liked it. Leave some comments. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, DARPA 222. Thank you. I appreciate it. And see you guys next time. Take care.